What is going on, YouTube? Today we are going to be just a really quick reaction of UFC 330 that happened this last weekend. Obviously it's Wednesday now, but just haven't had time to create this video. So if you guys like the content, leave a like, leave a comment down below what you guys think about the content, just so that I can know and help make better content. But let's get right into it. So the fight started well. It started really good with this first fight, Jeremiah Wells versus Oberlium. Obviously, he was a huge favorite. Oberlium was a huge favorite, and Jeremiah Wells got him by submission in the first minute of round 3. Pretty good performance. I mean, Oberlium was kind of they were both kind of having their moments. I think Oberlium was doing better. Obviously had 4 takedowns, was kind of controlling the fight. I think Jeremiah Wells was 2 down, and then he got the finish at the last minute. He was home, so like I said, there was a huge favorite. Yeah, the odds were crazy, plus 600 to win. That's just him to win, but him with submission was probably like plus 2,000. So yeah, that was a crazy way to start the card. And there was a couple more upsets in the card. Actually, the next fight, we'll just go straight to the next fight. Neil Magny versus Baharmin. That was another upset, and that was crazy too, because Ramiz is a younger dude, and Neil Magny finished him, in the second round. Like Neil Magny's a huge vet. He's been in the game for so long, and for him to get a finish against someone younger, right? Someone that's hungry coming up. It's just kind of like, that's just classic Neil Magny. That's just what he does. And so that was a good fight. Neil kind of put it on him, and he was controlling the fight for the most part. And so yeah, it was a good fight. Not really much else to say about that, so I'll just go to the next one. The next one actually was very, very surprising. I knew Lucas Fernando was good, right? But we didn't see it in his last performance. I think it was the Contender Series, and so we didn't really see like too much of his strike. He didn't have a good performance, and this fight was crazy. He was going crazy. Some of the combos that he was throwing, some of the punches that he was landing were insane. And so yeah, it was a huge show out for him. I think it was probably, definitely his best performance. And he's just getting started in the UFC, and so it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. But he has a bright future. I'm going to keep my eyes on Lucas Fernando, because he is a solid striker, and Rafael Dobes is like a solid, like, he hits hard, and he landed good shots on Lucas Fernando, but Lucas Fernando was just in front of him the whole time, just continue punching, continue kicking, continue throwing combos, and yeah, that was a super good fight. I enjoyed watching that fight a lot. Going to the next fight, Luque versus Gore. Luque, it went to the decision. It was kind of a bloody mess from both of them. It was a pick'em, and it kind of showed it. Like, Luque still kind of had huge moments. Gore just kind of kept like staying in front of him, yeah, he ended up winning the fight, and I thought it was a really good performance. That's the viral moment where Gore had his like whole tooth, like his root of the tooth came out, and so yeah, that was crazy. It was from a knee, I think, that landed at the end of the fight on Gore, but yeah, that was a good fight. I didn't watch Johnson versus McCornan because I had to do something, so I won't talk too much about that. Johnson did win. Oh, I did kind of see this though at the end of it. Yeah, it was a really good knockout. He landed super clean on Eric, and yeah, knocked him out. And I mean, he was a huge favorite, so he should have won that fight. But the next fight, Chapelin versus Johnson, was a really good performance, because Chapelin was landing heavy on Johnson, dropped him a couple times. Chapelin took this on short notice, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks notice, and so. Yeah, Johnson's a tough fight, because he has wins over the champion now. He has wins over some of the younger guys that are contenders for the belt right now. So yeah, Johnson doesn't get the credit that he deserves, and for him to get dropped in the first round and the second round to finish this fight via submission, I think it was a Swedish Twister, I think is what it was called. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that just shows his durability, shows his vet, shows his ability to finish the fight even after, even after getting dropped twice. So yeah, that was a crazy performance from Charles Johnson. I think we need to have more respect for him. Obviously, he's a little older. He has a crazy hairstyle, but it was a good fight. That was a very entertaining fight. The next fight was also a great fight. I don't know why this fight was getting booed, why it was like not getting the hype it deserved. This fight was Chidi Njoku versus Joel Alvarez. This fight was a dog fight. Like, they were just standing in front of each other and just throwing punches, taking turns throwing punches, and for it to go to decision was crazy because Chidi was landing some heavy shots on Joel Alvarez. Obviously, Chidi was moving down in weight. Joel Alvarez was moving up in weight. So it was a very entertaining fight. They both looked like they belonged at welterweight. I mean, Chidi was huge for the weight. Joel Alvarez was pretty average for the weight, I would say. I think it was a really, really good fight. Yeah, Joel Alvarez could have, if he would have wrestled, he was in Islam's training camp for this fight. If he would have wrestled a little bit more, I think he would have won the fight, right? But he just stood in front of Chidi and just, I mean, that's what Joel Alvarez is known for, right? His striking, his boxing. And so, yeah, I think it was, he was staining he never was like really hurt, from Chidi's punches. He was taking all of them, and Chidi landed some good ones on the chin and on the body. And I think he could have, won the fight if he even wrestled a little bit, and he was a huge favorite. So yeah, that was crazy. I didn't realize that he was a huge favorite. I understand why. I think he has a lot of hype to him, and he definitely deserves that hype. But Chidi's a dog, and so yeah, that was a really good fight, really entertaining fight. That was one that I wanted to watch the most. That was the one that I had my eyes on the most, and so yeah, that was a very entertaining fight. But going on to the main card, Ribovics versus Edson Barboza. This was unnecessary. This was the UFC just kind of giving a young, hungry guy a name for him to kind of grow, and we saw it. First couple, obviously Edson retired after this fight, but first couple punches, like, Edson was getting hurt, and so yeah, it was just sad to watch. Sad to see the UFC kind of do that to him. Obviously, this was Ribovics was a huge fan of Edson Barboza, so it was a good fight for him, like just him fighting a legend in the sport and beating him. But yeah, it was just not necessary, in my opinion. The next fight was crazy. Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stufus. Yeah, that fight was crazy. Obviously, the plus 500 Dustin was a huge underdog, and Abdul Malik is huge for the weight. He's a big middleweight, and I don't know in terms of height, but in terms of size, he's a big middleweight. And Dustin was kind of having his way with him in the wrestling game. He was just kind of tossing him around, controlling him most of the times. Whenever he was on top, he was able to control him. Not Abdul was kind of struggling to get back to his feet. And that's what ended up losing the fight. And Dustin was hurting him on the feet too. So it was a really good fight for Dustin. Dustin was definitely there that night. I don't know if Abdul Malik just wasn't there that night, just wasn't himself that night. But he was kind of getting pieced up and controlled everywhere. And so yeah, I think he still has a bright future. He's still young, but Dustin Stufus that night had every answer for whatever Abdul was throwing to him. So that was very deserved performance of the night. The next fight was crazy. Jalen Turner, first couple punches knocked out Fernandez. Yeah, that was crazy. I think I've always been on the hype train for Jalen Turner. Have always said that he's so good. He's a really good middleweight or lightweight, sorry, and he's just so big for the division. And so for him to, like, if he is mentally there, obviously we know he has mental issues, or struggles with mental issues, but if he is mentally there, he is a killer in the division. We saw what he did to Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's one of the toughest guys ever because he landed the cleanest kick I've ever seen in my life on Dan Hooker. Broke his jaw, I'm pretty sure. And Jalen Turner just landed on it super clean, and he couldn't get the finish. He definitely tried. I think he walked away, and that's why he didn't get the finish. But yeah, dude, Jalen Turner's a dog. Jalen Turner deserves to be in the top 15, top 10. possibly could even fight for the belt at some point, but he just needs to be mentally there. He is a dog. I will always be on the Jalen Turner hype train, just because I know how good he is and what he can do. And so yeah, that performance just kind of showcased it for everyone else, but I kind of knew that was already there. Going on to the women's strawweight title fight, Robinson versus Mackenzie Dern. Obviously the headlights from Jillian Robinson is corner, right? Dean Thomas kind of just saying that he's retiring from cornering, and then him taking a fight immediately after, with Sean Brady, but a cornering fight with Sean Brady. But yeah, talking about the fight, I mean, Mackenzie Dern was just kind of dominating the whole fight. Towards the end, obviously Jillian Robinson had some success. The last round, she had some success, won that round, but yeah, Mackenzie Dern is big for the division. I mean, she's a big girl. It'd be interesting to see her versus whoever's next. But for this fight, I just thought Jillian Robinson didn't have the right game plan going into this fight. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. Maybe she could have done better on the feet, worked a little bit more on the feet, and then not worry about too much about the wrestling. But Mackenzie Dern was there on the feet, landing heavier shots on the feet, and then taking Jillian down. So yeah, I don't know what exactly could be the difference for the second fight, if there is a second fight. But Jillian Robinson's a dog regardless, and she might not be a champion, but she's gonna be in that top 5 the whole time. I guarantee you. Like these other vets, like a Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, that are constantly in the top 5, just not getting the belt. I think Jillian Robinson will be that for the strawweight division, for the women's strawweight division. But yeah, nothing else to say about that fight. The next fight, Islam versus Machado Gary. Obviously, this got headlines as well, just because of how friendly Ian Gary was the whole fight, and I kind of agree. Islam was not necessarily dominating, but he wasn't in any danger at any point. I don't think. Ian Gary landed some clean body kicks, body shots, but Islam wasn't really reacting too much on them. It showed, right? Like, he had really bad bruises and stuff, but he just wasn't reacting to them as much. And yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about that. Islam was doing well. He looked super beatable though. Islam looks super beatable, and I think he will struggle against some of these fights, like Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, where those guys do have that killer instinct, where they're like, it's kill or be killed. Like, those are what those guys think. I think that's what they think, and so. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that fight, to see what happens from that fight. But yeah, nothing else to say about that. Islam deserved to be the champion that night, and Ian Gary probably could have won if he would have tried a little harder, if he would have had that killer instinct. But yeah, Islam said that he came into this fight a little down and away. So it'll be interesting to see his next fight. I think those next 2 fights are going to be huge for him, for his legacy. And so yeah. Nothing else to say. Let me know what you guys think about the fights, what you guys thought was your favorite fight of the UFC 330, and then I'll make a video talking about the next fight. So appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.